Hey folks, your old pal keeping it country here. Monster Conversations with Kick. Here we go. That's not the way we do things around here. This one's probably going to be more musically inclined and inclusive, but I think it's something that somebody can take a little bit of something out of all of it, and you can implement it in your everyday life or business, or just what works for you. There again, what works for me may not work for you. What works for you may not work for me. So I'm just saying, these are all my own personal opinions and views. So that's not the way we do things here. You're going to hear that a lot, especially if you're a musical artist, you're in Nashville, or you're in Music City, or you're in Detroit, New York, Texas, California, in the music industry. You're going to hear that. With that being said, that's the whole point. And I got that quote from my pal Garth Brooks. I've heard him use it on numerous occasions, just recently on his Amazon document that he had. And he heard that a lot too. And that's not a bad thing. Just because that's not the way they do things doesn't mean it's not the right way to do things, because it may be the right way to do things for you. And after all, with the plethora of artists out there, whether it be in the movie industry, the music industry, any industry, do you not want to make it more you, so the people can see, this is who I am, this is some of the things I stand for, this is my integrity, these are my morals? Just because a record label or a movie label want to say, well, that's not the way we do things around here, your answer is, well, that's the way I do things. You came to me asking me for this meeting. I didn't come to you. So obviously you've seen something in me that I had to offer. Or you've seen some value in what I may bring to the table. So we don't want to get into real specifics, but that's kind of where that goes. People can conform. You can be a follower, or you can be a leader. Simple as that. You can be a Garth Brooks. You can be a Taylor Swift. You can be a George Strait. You can be a Dolly Parton. Just because that's not what they consider the norm, maybe you don't want to be the norm. Maybe you want to be that shining light that sticks out in the crowd, that everybody goes, that's what I'm talking about. That's real people. The next one is whenever you're performing, whether you're performing for 10 people, 100,000 people, a stadium, New York City Central Park, C2C Festival, any festivals, concerts, anytime you perform, you should always give it your very best. Give it everything you've got on every performance. It doesn't matter if one person shows up or if 1 million people show up. They should all get the same energy and type of music that you're putting out every single show. And I'm not going to say it's easy, but that's why you see the Taylor Swifts and the Garth Brooks and the Blake Sheltons and the Gwen Stefani's and the Katy Perry. That's why you see them do workout regimens. Right now, most artists, especially if you're playing in and around Nashville, or you're doing these opening acts for the more well-known named artists, you're doing 45-minute sets, hour tops. They're doing 3. That's a lot. That is a lot. 3 hours of constant singing, movement on stage. Who wouldn't? It's got to be exhausting. I have no, the only thing I can garner it to is working an 8-hour day. So, but you should always bring everything you've got and give everything you've got at every single show. Because whether it's one person, or it's 100,000 people, or it's 1 million people, those are all people you potentially could disappoint. Think about that. Let that sink in for a minute. They're your fans. They're your supporters. They're there to see you. If you're hammered up on stage, or you don't give the best performance, in my opinion, you would be letting them down. Whereas if you give them 100% and leave nothing left when that performance is done on your set or on your concert, you've left them with something that they will remember for the rest of their lives. And they're going to tell their friends, man, you won't believe I went to this Bailey Callahan concert and she was phenomenal. I went to this Tiffany Ashton concert. This lady's got going on. Every single song she sang, I could relate to. It was like she was singing to me. That's what you want when you're performing. And when you're just doing your shows there in Nashville, that's what you want. You want that kind of. There's nothing better. You cannot pay for advertisement for yourself or promoting yourself better than your live performance and having those fans, even vacationers, maybe they're just in Nashville for a vacation and they stop in. You make an impression on them. You never know who's who. You don't know if it's somebody who has the ear of some music executive or a producer, or potentially is another songwriter, do collaborations and stuff. You really, really never know who's in that audience. So you should always give it 150% every single performance, every single song, so that you leave those fans and those supporters and those people listening to your music with an event that they will remember the rest of their lives, going, wow, that was phenomenal. The next thing is most musicians and artists to some extent are perfectionists. The trouble with being a perfectionist is you're setting yourself up for failure because nothing's perfect. And I'm going to allude this to building a house. You buy a piece of land, you have all the architectural plans drawn up, how it's supposed to go. You go out to the land, you get everything set, and then all of a sudden you find, maybe there's a large tree here, or there's a stream running right through where you wanted to put your house, or something. You have to alter those and be able to change those plans on an as-needed basis. With striving to be perfection or be the best artist you can be, that's where it's at. Be the best you. Don't be the best ever. Don't strive to be the best ever. Just be the best you on any given day. And there's going to be days and you're a human being, artists and actors and just people in general, we're all human beings. We all have bad days. The thing about that is when you choose a profession to put yourself out in front of the public, they have a perception that your world is all rainbows and skittles. They don't want to hear that you have daggers being thrown at you. You have negativity constantly belittling you at every corner, which is kind of going to lead into my next subject, but we'll get to that here in a minute. But try to keep that smile on your face, and that doesn't mean that you let somebody bully you around. You obviously, if somebody's doing something wrong, and there's been many a concerts that I've seen, especially as of here late, where they just stopped in the middle of the concert and told somebody, get the heck out of their concert. They weren't going to put up with that kind of nonsense. And I totally get that, and I agree with that. That shows that artist cares more about the people and the environment or the venue he's at and everybody having a good and happy and safe time than making an almighty dollar and just keep on going and let fights break out and doing all kinds of nonsensical stuff. The next subject is what I want to call social narcissism. And what I mean by that, and we all are to an extent, we all like to build a pyramid. We like to build things up. And then once they get to the top, for whatever reason, we get tired of it, we want to tear it back down. That to me, I just don't get, because I come from a background where it was my responsibility as I grew and I got promotions or I did better or was bettering myself, to reach down and help somebody below me or underneath me and bring them up with me. Move them up to my spot when I moved up to the next level. Why can we not do that and just be happy when people get on top? Examples. We'll take football. Oh, I want my football team to win the Super Bowl. they start winning the Super Bowl. Or just in general, a group of people. Oh man, I'm so tired of always seeing the New England Patriots or the Kansas City Chiefs or the Miami Dolphins or the Dallas Cowboys or the San Francisco 49ers or, you know, a plethora of teams. When they constantly win, Dale Earnhardt Sr. in NASCAR, you know, oh, he wins too much. The New England Patriots, oh, they may be a dynasty, but they win too much. Why do we do that? We shouldn't. We should be happy that somebody, whether it be an entity, a team, a person, a group, if they can climb to the top of their mountain, the mountain that they started for themselves, and sustain themselves at the top, why can we not just say, man, that is freaking awesome? That gives me a goal to shoot for. That's because we are social narcissists. We want to take whatever's on top and bring it down to what we think is a level that we can relate. You know, we think that they're up here and we're down here. It's not, that's your perception. We're all on the top of our own mountains if we choose to be, if we let ourselves be. That doesn't mean you can't fall off the top of that mountain. Trust me. You know, all you got to do is look at some of the things that we've had in the past and present going on, you know, the Harvey Weinsteins and Vince McMahons and, dare I say, our political atmosphere. You know, there's always going to be people who are going to have it better than you out there, but in the same aspect, there's going to be people who have it a whole lot worse. Let's do an example. Prime example. I may not have a plethora of money to help support artists or whatever, but by mentioning their names on stuff like this, the Tiffany Ashens, the Bailey Callahans, the Julia Coles, the Dawn Byers, you know, my buddy who's doing a lot for independent artists in Florida, Southern Fellow, Mr. Patrick LaFleece. I mean, the Jordan Moores, so on. I mean, I could name 1,000 artists, but I'm just trying to make a point. So, you know, I banged my head for a long time going, how can I help these people? I don't have, you know, I live off of a fixed income. You know, I can't go buy their merchandise. I can't, you know, go to every single concert they put on. I can't, you know, throw thousands and millions of dollars at them. What can I do to help? Oh, I can go to Spotify, and play every single song they have for a month. Or I can go make a Spotify list on Spotify and put all the new release songs that are to my liking and to my taste and what I think are relatively awesome and good hits from, you know, the likes of Julia Cole and Casey Musgraves and Tiffany Ashton and Kirsty Krause and, you know, a plethora of others. I'll go make that list. And sometimes it may be 12 songs. Sometimes it may be 5 songs, may times 4 songs. But I will play it at least once a day on Spotify. that will generate not a lot of income, but a little bit of income. But if I do that, and then some of you all start doing that, and then some of your friends start doing that, next thing you know, we're helping support artists without really costing ourselves any monetary problems for ourselves. There again, this is about helping, not hindering. Positive, not negative. So that's where we're at with that. My other thing is, I keep one of my when I meet newer artists and all my other older artists, one of the first things I always ask them is, what is your main goal? And at least 50% of them say, I want to be the next Blake Shelton. I want to be the next Taylor Swift. I want to be the next Reba McEntire. I want to be the next Dolly Parton. And then I follow that up with the question, why? Why would you want to be the next Taylor Swift? We already have one. Why would you want to be the next Blake Shelton? We already have one. Why not be the very first original you? Isn't that your ultimate goal? Your music, your look, your journey that you put into your music and put out there for others to relate to? Isn't that what you want? Isn't that your ultimate goal? Isn't that what you're doing? Then why change that and want to be like somebody else? And if it's because X, Y, and Z is saying so, well, this movie theater says, well, that's because I need to be more like, no. This record label says I need to sound more like, no. You don't. You need to be the original you. You need to stand out in that crowd. You need to put yourself on top of your own mountain, stay there, and try not to let anybody bring you off of it. Whether it's a record label, a movie studio, or people in general. Trolls. So, it's a wild, wild world out there. Not all good, not all bad. Seems like we're getting more of the bad than the good these days, whereas it used to be we had a lot more good than bad. But then we also have this digital stuff. There's a lot more ways to report stuff. Doesn't mean the same stuff that's happening today didn't happen back then, but everybody didn't have a cell phone with a video camera or a camera or a video device to record it happening. These are just things that's important to me. So these are things that I want to talk about. There again, I've asked before, and I'll keep on asking. If there's an issue or something or a burning question that you would like to get answers to, feel more than free down in the comments to ask it. Please like, subscribe, and comment. I mean, and the thing is you don't have to agree with me. I'm not looking for a pat on the back. I'm not looking for an attaboy, but I'm also not going to put up with harsh negativity. Constructive criticism is one thing. Harsh negativity is another. I am by no means perfect. I have by no means have all the answers to all the questions. Howsoever, I have a brain and I have the ability to do research and do my due diligence, that if somebody asks me a question, I can give them an intelligent answer after I research it, and I can tell them where I got that information from and how I got it. If you're going to strictly depend on Wikipedia and Google, and all, you can't do that. You have to go to some of the sources. You have to have some people in the know. You know, that's just the way life works. And if you want to give accurate information, that's the way you will do it. You can't just depend on the internet for your information. Because some of you already know this, but for those that you don't, everything on the internet, on Google and Wikipedia, is not true. I know that may be shocking. But no. Everything is not true. I mean, I always live by, I don't believe anything I hear until I do my research. And if I have to, I'll go to that point and ask them face to face, not on the phone, not through text, not through email, face to face, on video, where it doesn't become, well, he said that, or she said that. I can always go back and go, nope, and this is what you said. Click, and I play it for them. I mean, there again, we're all human beings. We can forget. Well, that's about all I had to go through. I wrote down a few things. Remember, that's not the way we do things here. Doesn't have to be. All it has to be is that's the way I do things. Your performance. Don't forget, one person or a million persons. Those are people you can give memories for the rest of their life, or they're the people who you can disappoint, and you'll never gain them as a fan or a follower. Give everything you got on every single performance. Don't leave anything. Leave it all out there on that stage. And I guarantee you it will pay off for you. Don't strive to be the best ever. Be the best you. Don't try to be anyone other than who you are, what you are. This is your old pal keeping it country. Until I see you next time, remember to love one another. Remember to be kind to one another. Until next time, Peace out.